8:21 here on Mornings with Dana Bugs. Beautiful sunshine coming in through the windows here today, and the weather guy says it's going to be sunny all day today, with a high near 70 degrees, somewhere around there. Beautiful day, wind 6 to 10 miles per hour. Be great weather to climb a mountain, I bet. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. Martin Christensen now joins us. As I said, Martin is a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh, moved to Salem, I guess, around 3 years ago to work at the Footprint Power in Salem. And I believe now he's a project engineer at Peabody Engineer. Is that right? Peabody Energy, is that right?
No, I'm still over at Salem now. Peabody,
okay.
Peabody was before.
Oh, Peabody, I'm sorry. I got that's what I got out of your bio here. But it was probably...
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I'm in Salem helping to build that new power plant over there.
Okay. Well, the one thing I really want to talk to you about, and not that that's a very important job, and we're happy you're doing it, but you're a mountaineer with extraordinary accomplishments. As I mentioned, you have climbed 6 of the top 7 peaks in the world. Amazing to me. You have climbed, see if I get this correctly now. You've climbed Kilimanjaro in Africa, right?
That's correct, yep.
Aconcagua in South America?
Yep.
Mount Kosciuszko in Australia?
Yep.
Denali in Alaska?
Yep.
Mount Elbrus in Russia?
That's correct.
Ward Hill in North Andover?
That's where
no, I still haven't done that one.
That's what Muggs is
I got to get in
small.
shape before that one.
Muggs is starting small here. And, of course, most recently, Everest. Now, the number one question,
Fantastic.
Of course, and I think that they asked this of Sir Edmund Hillary one time, why do you do it? And he said, well, because it's there, something like that. I mean, why do you do it?
I don't know. I'm a very goal-oriented person, so I just love the challenge. And a mountain brings out everything. I mean, you got to be mentally tough. You got to be physically tough. You got to be ready for the grind. So I just enjoy the challenge. And I love the objectivity of it, you know. You can just see your goal, you know. It's right there in front of you. So...
Did you see that last time, though? You ran into a little short on oxygen, I understand, in your last adventure?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I started out with a couple bottles of oxygen, but those bottles of oxygen are almost like scuba tanks. They weigh a lot. So I'm going up the mountain, and I'm thinking, oh, man, I don't know if I can carry both these things all the way. So I took one out, put it on the ground, thinking that I would use one to go all the way, finish to the summit, and come back and get the other bottle and put it back on. So I took the one bottle out, and then I didn't realize how far the summit was, and I ran out of my other bottle, still pretty far back from my other one. So I was out of oxygen, and then thank gosh my Sherpa had an extra one for me. Also, it was going to be good.
Had you used oxygen before on other mountains?
No. I mean, usually you only use them like on peaks that are above 8,000 meters, so only ones in the Himalayas. So
you didn't have a lot of experience with oxygen. Figured you didn't need as much oxygen when you were going. It took you much longer to get up there.
That's correct.
What's the effects of lacking oxygen when you're up there? What were the effects that you experience?
You become uncoordinated, tired. You just kind of want to sit there and like take a nap.
Yeah.
You just lose your energy really and your focus. Those are the biggest things.
Well, people have been lost on Everest for just exactly that reason, that they have kind of get so oxygen depleted that they literally can't get up, that they don't feel like, they don't want to get up. And they just sit there and die, essentially, is what happens. A lot of people have died on that mountain. Now, I've been reading a lot of articles about Everest, and recent articles about Everest saying it's crowded, that literally those trails are crowded. And the step is now gone, is it not? Is it the Hillary step is gone?
Yeah, it was funny. We had a bunch of us on the mountain. We read about that, but no, it's still there. I don't know why they say it's gone. I mean, there's still rock there. But I actually climbed the north side, which doesn't have the Hillary step. We have 3 other smaller steps.
This is just immediately to the summit, right? You're almost at the top of the mountain when you reach that area. That's the most treacherous area, is it not?
Yep, that's right.
Well, I don't know if it's the most treacherous area. It sounds like the whole thing is pretty treacherous, but it's particularly dangerous, I guess, when you get very, very near the summit. I mean, how far are you away from the summit?
You're only about half a mile, but when you're up there, that takes about 3-4 hours to do. So, but yeah, it's getting close when you get to the summit. It's definitely the most treacherous part up there.
The big concern, actually, on Everest, my understanding was that there were so many people climbing it because it's a very small window in which you are even capable of climbing Everest, right? And that there were so many people attempting to do it that the weight, as they were saying when we were talking about the fact that they lost some of the rock on the Hillary step, when I read that there were too many people who were piling up in front of that area there to go up, and the longer that you're up there, the more temperature gets you, the storms could come in on you, and you could lose your oxygen, as what happened to you.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. I mean, that's what happened in the 1996 disaster, and it is getting more and more crowded up there. And you're right. I mean, you can wait 3-4 days for a good weather window before you go. And then once that weather window opens up, everyone wants to go. And so when the mountain's crowded, you get bottlenecks. I spent a bunch of time on fixed lines waiting for people ahead of me because, I mean, it's a narrow path, obviously. And there's only one
The
way
waiting
to go.
just,
So.
it just must drive you crazy.
It does. When you're behind somebody that's slower than you and you're chomping at the bit, just wanting to go. And yeah, it's tough.
Plus, it's cold, isn't it?
Yeah. You got to keep your body moving, especially when you get, like on my summit day, it was minus 40 pretty much the whole day. And if you sitting
Minus
around for
40?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The whole day I had to wear full body suits and, everything like that. Huge monstrous boots. You can't have any exposed skin. But yeah, I mean, you're sitting around waiting them, and the slower you go, you're just getting cold. So
My understanding is that when I read that article in Salem News, it said that when you had run out of oxygen at the summit, literally, when a fellow climber looked at you, or your buddy, whoever was climbing with you at the time, looked at you and said, "You got to get down, or you're going to die."
Yeah, it was a surreal experience because I had read in books that this is what happens to people, and there was a couple climbers coming up as I was coming right down off the summit, and that's what he said. I was sitting in the snow, and like I said before, I just felt tired and like uncoordinated, and that's what he said to me. I was like, because you're on the fixed rope, so again, there's only one rope, so they're going up, so I had to wait for them to pass. So and that's what he said, and I was like, I knew I was in trouble. So
Did you think about going back down, or did you say no? I'm going to forge ahead like you did.
Well, no, I had oxygen to the top, thankfully. I mean, it was literally probably 45 minutes after I got to the top that I ran out. So, I mean, I was just barely coming back down off the top. And then, but yeah, I knew I was going to die if I didn't get myself out of that situation just because.
And your Sherpa was the one that had an extra oxygen bottle, right? How far away from him were you?
I mean, I was only maybe 200 yards, I'd say. It's like 2 football fields. But again, I mean, that would take me 15 seconds here to do out here on the street right outside, but up there that takes about like 45 minutes to do.
Did you have to pay for that? Like, give me $10, $15 for this. No, it's just it's the value for this oxygen for $50. What do you got on you?
How about everything I own?
Hey, my Rolex watch. Take it.
How about everything I own is yours? Just give me that bottle of oxygen.
Yeah, I would have done everything I own.
At that point, life or death.
Yep, for sure.
Now, I've heard it in all of these mountains, not just Everest, but is it true that going down the mountain is even more dangerous than going up the mountain?
Yeah, it is because you exert so much energy going up, and you got to save some for coming back down. You don't think you need as much coming down, but you do. Here's a good example. It took me 8 hours to go up, but then almost 12 hours to come back down because I was just so spent. I was just could only go like 15, 20 yards and then have to take a 10-minute break, and then same thing coming back down because I gave everything to make it to the summit. I gave everything. So, yeah.
And here's a guy. I mean, you've already climbed 5 of the top peaks in the world, right? He's obviously in amazing shape. He's in extraordinary shape. Right. And here's a guy who barely made it back down again because he was so tired or took his. That's a challenge and a half, that mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, that's why, like you said earlier, there's a lot of people that didn't make it. I think it's up to 300 people now that haven't made it on that mountain just because, if you don't save a little bit of reserves on the way back down, and then you can't be rescued. I mean, helicopters can't go that high.
Well, they can't even get the bodies down.
And and people can't. Yeah, and if you're not acclimatized, there's nobody that can go up there. I mean, you're on the moon basically, like they say in the movie. I mean, you're on the moon.
So you really can't be in attack mode. You really got to know, don't you?
Yeah,
how to pace yourself, how to reserve.
You got to know your body. I mean, you got it's like probably like running a marathon. I mean, you just have to know, you have to know where your wall is and how close you are to the finish. You know what I mean? If you expend too much energy, you can be in big trouble.
Did I see where you even are just acclimating yourself to the air and the atmosphere for a while before you can even do anything or forge ahead? That kind of thing?
That's what Everest takes 2 full months because of the acclimatization. The base camp is at 17,000 feet, which is 3,000 feet higher than the highest point on any of the Rockies, so it took us 2 weeks just to get to that. You have to get your body used to it, and then you go up and back down and up and back down.
My only experience, because we used to go skiing in Denver all the time, out in Beaver Creek all the time, out in Vail. And I remember for the first 3 or 4 days, and that's only 5,000 feet. I mean, that literally only 5,000 feet at the base of that mountain anyway. And I remember climbing stairs and everything else, I just felt like... So, I mean, I'm sure the more that, and after 3 days, you get kind of acclimated to it, as you say. But I cannot imagine 17,000 feet. triple that trying to gulp oxygen.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And it does take time. You can't sleep and stuff,
And
everything.
your muscles need oxygen,
Yep.
too, as you're trying to move up and down. And wow. How many stations are there on the way up?
So
the
there's
base camp is the 17,000
Yep.
feet, 17,000 feet.
and well, that's base camp, and then you got an advanced base camp, Camp 1, and Camp 2. So you have 5 total camps.
There's 5, and each one is higher than the other camp.
Yep,
Right.
that's correct. Yep.
As you get. So what's the highest camp?
Camp 2, which is on the north side, it's at 8,300 meters. So that's a little over 26,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're getting real close to the top there. And there, that's where I started taking oxygen from there. I mean, once you get up to that camp, you don't really sleep, and you just kind of laying there just trying to rest your body a little bit before you go to the summit.
Do you overnight at that camp before you
Actually,
hit the summit?
you don't even overnight, because you start out at Camp 1, which is at 700-800 meters, and then you hike for maybe 8 hours to get up to Camp 2, take a 4 or 5 hour rest in your tent, and then go for the summit.
Oh, so you don't at all. You got to keep going on
Not
that.
really, yeah.
And then when you come back down again, what camp do you shoot for when you're coming back down again?
I mean, you want to shoot. I got back down to Camp 1, but I mean, if you
Do you
if you're
overnight
spent,
then? Then do you overnight?
then you overnight. Then you
Okay.
overnight.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just bypass camp 2? Or,
Yeah. I mean, you stop in there just for 2 seconds to take a little rest, but I mean,
I've seen pictures, and I've also seen videos of people up at the summit. It appears to be a very small area
It
on
is.
the summit. How big is it actually?
no, it's small. I mean, I guess I would say maybe, like, I'm looking at the size of this room. It's about like, I mean, it's not flat like this. Maybe like a 15 by 15 foot area. So that's about it.
It's like a small bedroom. In
Yeah,
other words,
exactly.
15 by 15 feet. That's it on the top of it. That's what it looks like in these
Yeah.
pictures. I figure it must be bigger than that, but no, it's a peak,
Yeah,
obviously, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
And I suppose on the way up, because of the fact that you can't really get bodies down, I suppose on the way up, they told me that in this, all the reading that I've done on it anyway, that there are some memorials to some of those people. There are rocks that are piled up in various areas. Is that true?
Yeah. At the lower levels, especially. They do at base camp. I mean, I went and visited a whole bunch of memorials. Yeah, they exactly right. They just pile up the rocks. I forget the name of what they call that little pyramid that they make, but
And there are ribbons on them, and there people put things on them as well. Do they not? Yeah.
and families come visit. Loved ones that they have lost. Like, we met a lady there that was visiting. The rocks that memorialized her brother. So.
Does it make you think about your own mortality when you see it? Must be, yeah.
When I pass some bodies on the way up, I mean, they're right there, and that's a slap in the face. It wakes you up pretty quick.
Sure.
You're just like, "Ooh, is this serious?" And
You can see them there as
Yep.
you're on your way up again.
Wow.
Yep.
So when's Antarctica? That's the 7th, right?
Yeah, I mean, after Everest, I would take a little break from the mountains for a little bit, but maybe a year or two from now.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Okay.
And how high is that peak?
That one's 17,000, so it's not too bad. It takes like maybe 4 to 5 days to climb, but again, I mean, it's Antarctica, so it's just really cold, and you got to be ready for that. That's
Talk about relative. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
That's about 17,000. It's not that bad. I know that you're a former Army officer, infantry
that's
officer,
true.
in fact, aren't you?
Yep,
So,
that's correct.
so you've been in good shape for a long time, I
Yep, that's
presume,
correct.
eh?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
do you train constantly?
Yeah, I just love working out. So yeah, I mean, that's why I did the infantry in the military. I just love being physical. So yep.
Wow. I'm going to do the news here for a couple of minutes. Would you stick around if you would, please?
Yeah, sure.
We have a task for you if you would as well. We were giving away some tickets here to the tall ships, and we'd like you to pull them because they don't trust us to do it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we need somebody who's trustworthy like yourself here, and maybe a couple more questions actually about mountaineering. But I appreciate you coming in here. We'll do the news, then we're back with our friend here, Martin Christensen, a mountaineer. Well, Beatles 8:48 here on Mornings with Dan and Mux here on North Shore 104.9. As promised, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Christensen standing up now in front of our gold tumbler thingy-dingy, whatever we call that thing. And he's rotating it at this moment.
Okay.
There he goes. We're going to put this on Facebook Live so that everybody will see. It's all on the up and up here. This is in honor of Father's Day, offering one lucky listener now. Those of you who have registered on North Shore 104.9, we've taken all those names that you registered for this contest here. We put it in that tumbler there. And now Martin is going to draw the winning. This is for 8 tickets now to the tall ships in Boston Harbor aboard Newburyport Whale Watch's Captain's Lady 3. It's for Father's Day, and there's 8 tickets, and the winner is...
All right, we have Erica Luz of Peabody, Mass.
Erica Luz from Peabody, Massachusetts. Congratulations. You can take dad and family members, friends, whatever you want to do. You have 8 tickets now to the tall ships. That's a wonderful extravaganza happening in Boston Harbor this weekend. So have a lot of fun, and thanks so much for everybody who registered. This is Mornings with Dan and Muggs here in North Shore 104.9.
Hi, I'm Matt Schroeder from Danvers Road Racing.